Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Big Hit. The IUP Crimson Hawks took on the Gannon Golden Knights for the IUP Annuals homecoming game on the first Saturday of October. Now let's look at the game's pregame show, brought to you by Sports Production.
It's week number 5 in the PSAC season, and the boys are pumped to be back in Indiana. The Crimson Hawks will look to start off this homecoming weekend right in front of these packed stands and look to make it 2 straight wins on the season. For the first time, I'm Alexander Donaldson, alongside Jay McGarry, our sideline reporters Danny Erb and Sonia Demachek joining us shortly here on the IUP-TV Sports pregame show. The IUP Crimson Hawks coming into this game. These two teams have a bit of a pass together, but they haven't played in quite a while, have they, Jay?
No, they haven't, Alex. The last time these two teams met was October 26, 2019, and the Crimson Hawks were in the midst of a monstrous season then. During that meeting, IUP shut out Gannon 35-0 with now graduated quarterback Quentin Maxwell throwing for 257 yards and 3 touchdowns. While this may have been a few years ago, that loss has to be on the minds of the Spartans as they look to reach 2 consecutive wins on the season.
And while IUP may not have Quentin Maxwell under center for this game, they do have Harry Woodbury making his home debut for the IUP Crimson Hawks. He set out the first 2 games of the season, but did not disappoint last week against Mercyhurst. The transfer from Eastern Illinois put up a fair 146 passing yards, but crucially threw for 4 touchdowns and punched it through for a 1-yard rushing touchdown. IUP took last week's game 48-13.
48-13. That's pretty good, but try 56-21. That's a score from Gannon's game last week. QB Corey Curtis had a very similar stat line to Harry Woodbury, 56-21 win over Clarion University. Curtis threw for an even more impressive 246 passing yards and also 4 passing touchdowns. Of course, he also rushed in a 1-yard touchdown. The offense was given a big boost by the defense and special teams, who were able to force 2 turnovers, an interception, and a fumble. And the game showed how well-rounded the Spartans are this season.
I like that term, well-rounded, because it doesn't just apply to their offense. Defensive back Chris Farnsworth has been terrorizing receivers all season. He may only be 5'10", but at 180 pounds, he has the strength and agility to take down offenses and stop them in their tracks. This season, he leads the team with 19 solo tackles in just 4 games. This is compared to his first season, where he only had 11 solo tackles all season. His sophomore has been dazzling in his breakout year, finally notching his first college career pick near the end of last week against Clarion University. He certainly is a dangerous guy that Woodbury will need to look out for if they want to come home with a win.
And for IUP, the best way to deal with a long-range defensive back such as Farnsworth may be plays from unexpected players. That's exactly what the Crimson Hawks are getting from tight end Chris Suman. He's had 2 receptions this season, totaling for 30 yards, including a 7-yard touchdown reception last week against Mercyhurst. When he's not being targeted with throws, he also plays a crucial part of the offensive line, as well as with reserve on special teams. But if he couldn't play anywhere else, he took a few snaps on defense last week, earning himself a solo tackle. A dynamic and impressive talent for IUP, and with his performance last week, I wouldn't be surprised if he takes on a bigger role today.
On offense or on defense?
Well, probably offense, but you never know.
Again, with that blocked punt, he's a crucial player on this IUP team. Looking for him to break out. For IUP, they're coming into this game that has plenty of significance on the gridiron, as this is homecoming. And we send it to Danny Erb with more insight on IUP Homecoming 2021.
Thank you, Alex. This year's homecoming events include the parade that took place this morning on Philadelphia Street and the Crimson Huddle for IUP alumni to meet and tailgate. Though this year's homecoming events have plenty going on, let's take a step back and look at the Crimson Hawks' last homecoming game in 2019, where they faced off against the Cal U Vulcans. IUP was able to take the lead early and secure a win with the help of returning receiver Dwayne Brown, who scored 2 touchdowns that game, leaving the final score 17-6 IUP. The Crimson Hawks have won their past 2 homecoming games and will surely be looking to make that 3.
An impressive homecoming record for the IUP Crimson Hawks. I'm sure we are all looking forward to them making it 3 years in a row this afternoon. But for the team, it means a bit more than a kick off to a fun party later on. Sonia Demachek has a bit of background on how the Hawks' early play has affected their rankings this season.
There have been a few changes for the Crimson Hawks this past week to take note of. Despite coming off a win last week against Mercyhurst, IUP has fallen into a tie for the number 25 spot in the American Football Coaches Association Division II Top 25 poll. IUP was the number 24 spot just last week, but now shares a spot with rival team Cal. Two other teams in the PSAC also hold spot in poll. Slippery Rock holds the number 7 spot, and Shepherd University in spot number 21. As for other changes by IUP, wide receiver Dwayne Brown was sat out last week's game due to a shoulder injury. However, this week he is planning to play and hoping to assist IUP for a homecoming victory.
Thank you, Sonia. We'll hear from you pretty soon as it's time for us to present our bold predictions for today's game. Jay, you're up first.
Thanks, Alex. I believe that IUP is going to win this one pretty handily with a 42-21 score today. If you look at the last two games, both of these teams have very explosive offenses, and I don't think that Gannon's defense can keep up with all of the weapons that IUP provides. You, Alex?
For me, it's hard to say, but I think IUP takes this one 31 to 28, just a field goal margining these two teams. And again, the two offenses are great, but I think defense is going to step up. And it's going to be a matter of who can establish the run game. We talked a lot about the QBs, but I trust Malik Anderson and Justice Evans to punch it home for IUP and lead them to a win on this homecoming day.
For my Hawk take, I think IUP is coming in this game ranked number 25th. They're playing an unranked Gannon team. I think IUP is really going to jump the gun on this one, do really well. 3 touchdowns, maybe some field goals. I think it's going to be 27-14 IUP on top. Thank you.
Switching it up a little bit, I think that Gannon's going to upset IUP and take this win with a score of 21-14. Honestly, I just think their defensive line is pretty strong this year, and it's going to be definitely a game to see.
Well, interesting picks as always, and Sonny, I don't know if I agree with you on that one. It's homecoming, but hey, you got to make some picks. So the vote's 3-1 in favor of IUP. Thinking the Crimson Hawks are going to take this one. Jay and I are going to head upstairs, as that one will do it for the IUP-TV Sports pregame show. We'll see you in a bit as the Gannon University Golden Knights take on the IUP Crimson Hawks. We'll see you soon.
Now that the pregame is over, let's finally get into the highlights. Number 12, Harry Woodbury, takes the snap and slings it to number 5, Carter, fighting for more yards and finally brought down on the opponent's 47-yard line. A few plays later, Woodbury lobs a touchdown pass to number 9, Irvin Charles, putting IUP up 6-0. On IUP's 48-yard line, Malik Anderson takes the handoff and uses his elusiveness to run past defenders for a 14-yard gain. Woodbury fakes the handoff to Anderson and throws a strike to number 3, Dwayne Brown, for another 14-yard gain. Woodbury fakes the handoff to Justice Evans and throws a floater right to number 84, Grant Smith, for the touchdown, extending IUP's lead to 13. Woodbury tries to get it to Anderson, but almost has it picked off by Gannon's defensive end, number 3, Jay Bullock. Number 2, Melvin Blanks, takes it up the middle and gets a great 20-yard gain. Number 17, Corey Curtis, hands off to number 11, Antonio Wright. He uses his speed to run past defenders and is finally brought down at the 9-yard line. Curtis takes the snap and delivers a strike to Blanks. He runs it into the end zone, getting the Golden Knights on the board. Woodbury takes the snap and evades a defender, running to his left and then fires the ball to the corner of the end zone where Dwayne Brown makes the catch, putting the Hawks back up by 14. Gannon kicks a field goal at the 11-yard line, cutting the lead down to 11. Corey Curtis delivers a dime right to Blanks, and he gets tripped up, but not soon enough as he dives into the end zone, making it a manageable 16-21. Gannon attempts the extra point but is denied by number 93, Gregory Moore II. IUP attempts to bring it back all the way but is stopped at the 5-yard line. Harry Woodbury keeps it on the option, finds a hole and runs it to give the Hawks a 27-16 lead. Curtis evades a tackler and slings it to number 6, Freeman Jr., who is then tackled inside IUP's 5-yard line. Antonio Wright takes a handoff and runs it in for the score, cutting the lead back down to 1 score. With the game on the line, Curtis takes the snap and is chased out of the pocket by incoming defenders. He looks for number 4, Branson Stanley, but he is off the mark, turning the ball over and sealing the win for the IUP Crimson Hawks. Now let's go down to Danny Erb with the player of the game, Harry Woodbury.
I'm here with today's IUP player of the game, Harry Woodbury. You had a great performance today, 221 passing yards and 3 touchdowns, plus 1 rushing touchdown. How did you manage to put on such a show today?
It's all about the guys around me, man. They did a great job. I mean, y'all see the talent I have around me. All I got to do is my job, and the rest is magic, man.
In the beginning of the season, you had some COVID issues. How does it feel to be back on the field?
Feels great, man. It was not fun being locked up in my room, watching them play from afar, but I'm just grateful to be back out here and be healthy.
Lastly, how's that win feel, baby?
It's good, man. We're still hungry, though. On to the next week, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
That's it for the homecoming game. The IUP Crimson Hawks beat the Gannon Golden Knights 28-23. Now let's get up close and personal with some of the Crimson Hawks football players. Hi, my name's Skylar Sabansky and I am here with
Dwayne Brown, Irvin Charles, Malachi Newell.
All right, so you graduated from Apollo Ridge High School back in 2017. In 2015, against Deer Lakes, you rushed 480 yards and had 8 touchdowns, one of your best games in high school. Your first year as a Crimson Hawk, you had a total of 19 touchdowns and 19.9 yards per catch, best in the PSAC West. What is your key to success, not only at the high school level, but as the college level as well?
Just my work. I would say just my work ethic and my motivation for the game. Just staying hungry, staying at it.
All right, so you were part of the Penn State signing class 2015. Your first catch was an 80-yard touchdown against Minnesota. Coach Franklin called you, quote, maybe the most talented receiver I have ever been around. What made you transfer from Penn State to IUP?
There's a little bit of some behind-the-scenes things that I dare not speak on, but for the people who really want to know, I got the answers for you. But there's just some things that happened and transpired that led me to choose a different path. So when I was looking at other places to come to, IUP was one of the first schools in the area. I was trying to be a local guy, stay in the area, so IUP was definitely one of the top programs that fitted my new situation. So it would have been dumb not to come here.
And are you happy with your choice?
Yeah, so far so good.
You played for Youngstown State from 2016 to 2019. On March 30th, you announced on Twitter that you were transferring to IUP. What made you choose IUP?
We had a coaching change. Bo Pelini, my coach of 5 years, went to LSU, and new coaching staff came in. And it wasn't a good fit. Wanted a new home and a fresh start. That's all.
Do you like your choice in the coaching staff here now?
Yes, I love it. Yes.
Okay, against Gannon, you had 8 receptions, 101 yards receiving, and a touchdown. Your average season right now is 7 receptions, 91 yards, and about a touchdown a game. How do you plan on keeping this momentum going throughout your season?
Like I said in the last one, just staying hungry, staying motivated, just keeping myself healthy, coming out here every day knowing what I got to do and where I got to be each play. Just little things like that, I mean.
What would you say your biggest strength is?
I'd probably just say like my ability to finish plays, whether that be deep balls, short balls, intermediate balls, wherever the case may be. Like just my ability to finish plays, finish blocks, and just get the job done wherever that is.
From what we've been seeing during the games, you are very high energy and full of emotion. Football can be a very emotional sport. How do you utilize your high energy and emotion for your performance on the field?
I just try to come out here and just give it everything I got. You know, we put in a lot of work during the summer and in the practice, so game time, that's our party. It's kind of a celebration, so you just let it all loose game day.
All right, so you are facing Clarion this Saturday. They currently have an 0-5 record. What is your prediction for this game?
I hope we can beat them by more than 50 plus. I mean, I hope we were planning to do that last week, but kind of got away from us. This game,
We've been, yeah, 50 plus. I need 50 nothing.
You are one of the oldest on the team. You are a senior, but you are 24 years old. Do you feel like you have sort of a father figure to the younger players on the team?
I just got called a granddad. But nah, yeah, I feel like mainly just with my experience alone that I can help a lot of the younger guys. So I definitely look at myself more as like a big brother than a father figure. Cause yeah, we won't do that. But yeah, I definitely consider myself to be one of the older guys who just looks after everybody else in the team and just kind of like tries to share whatever wisdom that I know, just pass down anything that they may need help on and stuff like that.
We looked at your huddle and saw some of your stats. The most impressive one was your 40-yard dash, which is 4.48. That's faster than the average 40 time for an NFL linebacker. How has your speed helped you contribute to the team's success?
It helped a lot for me, playing sideline to sideline and just, getting to the ball. It helped a lot, just.
All right, and with Halloween around the corner, can you tell us your favorite horror movie villain?
I'm not really a scary movie type of guy, but I would say Michael Myers just because, I don't know.
Dr. Doofenshmirtz.
And with Halloween right around the corner, what is your favorite horror movie?
Us.
Ready, Cam 5. Tyler, stay on that. I want to try to get a reaction.
In communications media, hands-on opportunities are essential. I mean, if people want to leave their education and have the right training to go into the production field in any regard, sports or anything, having that hands-on opportunity is absolutely critical. And we think this class really gives them top to bottom every kind of experience they could possibly want. This is our COM 360 Digital Sports Production course. It's a live sports production course. Tonight we're doing IUP men's and women's basketball. The students are all involved in the various aspects of the production.
From the first game to now, I actually understand basketball lingo. The most basketball I knew before was like Space Jam. It's like I understand how to do the rundowns, which is just pretty much setting up how the game should go as a producer side and ensuring that I have that active communication with the crew.
I am the play-by-play analyst, and I'm also a pre-show producer, and I actually work sort of with graphics a little bit. I'm a sophomore. I wanted to get started on my live production resume and portfolio. Wanted to get a head start on it, and doing this live production was the best way to start it.
To be quite honest, the reason I took this class is I've always had a love for sports and broadcasting in general. I feel like it gives me the necessary tools I need to succeed in life and on all my future endeavors, get you a real taste of what kind of putting a real basketball production is like.
You have to be accurate and fast at the same time. There's a lot more on the line than just regular production. You have to, you're on a time limit and you have to get things right, and it's just, it pushes you to do better.
The experience that any student that takes this course gets is literally invaluable, because what better way are you going to get on the job real world training than doing the job in the real world?
The Communications, Media, and Instructional Technology PhD program gave my life direction. This program was perfect for me with a combination of research and media production. Hands-on courses gave me skills that I now pass on to my students. I use all three areas of the program, production, theory, and research, every day in my job as a college professor.
Learn how the CMIT PhD program can change your life. Visit iup.edu/CMIT.
Hi, I'm Skylar Swansky, and I'm here with
Hannah Scardina.
Samantha Gildner.
All right, so since you guys have a game today, you guys are playing Pitt-Johnstown. You guys do have a 2-game losing streak. Are you and your team going to do anything differently, hopefully to break that streak?
Yeah, today we're switching up our formation a little bit, so we're going to try to control our midfield a little bit better. and find those through balls. Hopefully I can get a run on and go straight to goal, put it in.
I think that we've been working in practice on connecting with our midfield and our offense, so I think that's definitely going to help us improve in the final third.
Congrats on being a 3-time MVP and also named the most outstanding player of the Whitfield game back in November. What are your goals for this year?
I want to help my team as much as I can. I want to score goals, I want to support, I want to bring encouragement. I think that's a big thing for any team, just supporting your teammates.
What would you say the hardest thing about being a goalkeeper is?
I would probably say the hardest thing about being a goalkeeper is having a short-term memory, because like if you mess up, you just got to forget about it and continue on to like the next play and stuff like that.
As an individual player, everyone has their own goals, but what is like your goal as a team as a whole?
We want to win, simple as that. Yeah, it's hard. We're in one of the highest ranking divisions, and I think for us, we just want to come out, we want to play our best, and we want to win.
Since you said that you just have to like forget about it, does that ever mess up your whole game, like the rest of your game?
It kind of messes with my head for a little bit, but then I'm kind of like, all right, never mind, just forget about it. Like, we're on to the next one, you're going to save the next one and stuff like that.
With being a team sport comes with strengths and weaknesses, obviously. What would you say the strengths are and weaknesses of your team?
Strengths, I definitely think we have a lot of chemistry this year, more so than previous years. I think individually we're all very strong players. I think some of our weaknesses though would be, you know, when we sub, I think there's a bit of a lull maybe until we can all catch up, and I think we need to get faster off the get-go when we come in off the bench. But overall, I think, you know, we're working, we know what our strengths are, and we're working on our weaknesses.
All right, you guys are playing Pitt-Johnstown today. You guys do have a 2-game losing streak. What are you guys going to do differently today to try and break that streak?
I think that we've been working in practice on connecting with our midfield and our offense, so I think that's definitely going to help us improve in the final third. We're all college students, obviously. How do you balance soccer, workouts, everything you have to do, and your schoolwork?
Not as gracefully as people might think. No, a lot of it is time management. It's huge. Knowing when I have to do homework, when I have to do school, classes, and fitting that in around workouts. And I mean, even when I'm not working out with the team, I have to better myself on my own. So a lot of that just comes down to knowing what I have to do and not procrastinating and getting it done.
Say the game isn't going your guys' way. Is there a certain player that like pumps up the game, like pumps you guys up, or does the coach say something to get you guys out of that like bad mood or that mindset?
Coach has a pretty rough halftime talk with us, especially if it's not going in the first half, and it really lights a fire underneath us. And then our bench also, like they'll be like, "You got the next one, just get back," all that kind of stuff.
So you are known as the most successful women's soccer coach here at IUP, and you are also on your 20th season. Congratulations. What is your vision for your team this year?
Well, honestly, I'm very, very competitive coach. I don't like to lose. I keep thinking about the game. Like last night, the whole night, I think about the game. And I think we have a good group of young ladies. They are young, a lot of sophomore, freshmen, and junior. We have 3 seniors. There's no doubt in my mind their work ethic is amazing. They work very, very hard. But at the same time, the work ethic by itself is not going to help unless you have a result at the end of the game. You score goals. So that's what we need to do. Just take advantage of every chance we have and to score some goals. That's what I just told them. And try to avoid making the mistakes. Since it's a young team, try to avoid making the mistakes because that's going to cost the game.
Out of the zone. And IUP have another chance to clear. Pass gets moved up that far sideline as Nemeth tries to spring a pass and gets thrown back to the goalkeeper, but an interception here, and she's able to net it. Adding to her already mighty scoring list is Scordina able to get the first one for IUP. As I have a chance to clear it here. Move it up, and Ryan trying to spring a pass on that far sideline. The goalkeeper coming out again. She's out of her net. And another one in the back. Now getting on the board, Kristen Finnerty. I'll move it to the middle. Intercepted. Again, Willis playing with it. Moves it up, and with plenty of space, Finnerty will spark a run for Scardina. She's off to the races. She needs to get to it. Takes the shot. Well outside the 18, but she's able to arc it over the goaltender. Her second one of the match. And IUP leads 3-0. Stays outside the 18, but Nadig looking for it. And that pass, another one intended for Nadig. She slides for that one, but stays in, and IUP will possess that one. She sparks Scardina. She may have been offside, but Scardina's going to run for it. In alone, Scardina for the hat trick, and she's able to net it. 3 goals in the opening half for Hannah Scardina. And she finds the back of the net again. 4-0 the score for IUP. The Crimson Hawks lead over the Mountain Cats. Narana again. Another cross inside, an attempted header that goes wide. A shot coming in. May have been a pass, and a shot comes in and beats Jelinek right in the back of the net. I'm not certain who that shot ended up coming from, but it was a series of a couple. IUP defense unable to clear it, as they had done successfully so far in that first half, and they get on the board for their first time. Now Zendier moves it up, a bit of a chip shot short of Willis, but Scardina trying for it. She gets held back, and she takes a shot, number 4 this afternoon for Hannah Scardina, and that will most likely do it. IUP leads 5-1. So Hannah Scardina doubling her goal count that she started the day with. To this game with 4. And that cross comes in inside the 6, and she's able to score on that one. A crazy deflection from Esser, and she's able to get the second one for Pitt-Johnstown. And a final shot, another one in the back of the net. Stanley going down on that one, and UPJ, fights back, still in this one. Extremely late in this one. 8th game of the season for UPJ. They fall to a 2-6 record overall. A good contest between these two teams. They came back near the end. There were a couple of unforeseen goals, but IUP able to come out on top 6-3, as we'll send it to Enoch for a sideline report with the 4-goal scorer, Scardina.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Enoch Taraku, your on-field reporter, and this is Enoch's After Show. I'm here with the star of today's game. Can you tell us a little bit about your favorite part of today's game, besides winning, of course?
Scoring, just the way that we played, working together. That was great.
So teamwork's really important to you guys? You have a really strong bond?
Yeah, absolutely. Chemistry's fantastic.
Wonderful. That sounds great. Tell me about your outlook for the rest of the season. How do you think you guys are going to do?
From now on, I think we've got it. We're clicking now, and I think we're ready to go.
All right. Is there any team in particular you're looking forward to play?
Right now, I'm ready to get back at Edinburgh and Slippery Rock.
All right, getting back in Edinburgh and Slippery Rock. Thank you guys so much again. This has been Enoch's After Show, and Hannah, great game again.
Thank you.
Thank you.